Discover the Arts is brought to you by Nevada Dairymen and Dairy Council of Nevada and Estelle J. Kelsey Foundation.
Hey kids, I'm Chef Katie, and today we're gonna make pizza art. So we are gonna make our pizza with a homemade focaccia you can easily do at home. I have a poolish that I made yesterday. It takes about a day to rest. I'm gonna throw the water into my bowl. I have my yeast, which is gonna make our dough rise. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on top. I'm gonna mix it with my hands. And then I'm gonna add the poolish. It's slimy and gross and super fun. So I'm gonna take my bowl of slime and water and break it up with my hands until it gets into little pieces that kind of looks like some brains. I'm then gonna add my olive oil and my Parmesan cheese. Give that a quick little stir. And then I'm gonna add my flour. I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time and mix it with my hands just until it gets all incorporated. So I'm just stirring the flour in until it's all combined. I'm actually gonna. It's super easy to mix. I just need my hands. And I'm keeping this hand dirty so I'm not making a mess with the other bowls. I'm keeping this hand clean. And then it's starting to get stiffer and harder to mix with the one hand. So I'm gonna take this hand and just get in there and smush it. I'm just smushing it together until it all becomes one. It's super gooey. It's not super gooey, but it's sticky for sure as it's sticking to my hands. I'm gonna wipe off my monster hands, take all that dough off. I'm then gonna add my salt. I'm just gonna sprinkle the salt in there. The salt is gonna give us our flavor. And then once all the salt is mixed in, I'm gonna place this dough, our focaccia dough, into our sheet pan or casserole dish that has been covered in oil. I'm just gonna place that dough right in there and push it to the corners so it becomes the shape of a rectangle. I am then gonna find a warm spot in my oven so the dough has time to rise. So now it's been about an hour since we've let our dough rise. We put it in the warmest spot of our kitchen. For me, the warmest spot in my kitchen is this giant room that's called a proofer. It essentially just allows my dough to rise, just like you would in your home. But it's just a little warmer, so for me it's just a little bit faster. So we're gonna take it out of our proofer. We have a little oil on there so the dough stays nice and hydrated. And then it's time to put it in the oven. We're just gonna put it in the oven just until it gets lightly golden brown, and then we'll add our pizza toppings. But first, before we put it in the oven, we're gonna put some Italian seasoning just so it has a little bit of flavor. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of Italian seasoning and we're just gonna sprinkle the top of our focaccia to give it a little bit of flavor. Now we're gonna add it to our oven. We have our oven already preheated at 450 degrees, and I'm just gonna throw it in there for about 20 minutes. So our pizza has come out of the oven and I've let it cool for about 10 minutes just so I don't burn myself. So now we're gonna make pizza art. I have pizza sauce, I have cheese, and pepperoni is my favorite kind of pizza. So I have some pepperonis. So I'm just gonna play around and make any picture I want on the pizza. This is spread it around. My favorite thing to draw is flowers. So I'm gonna make a flower to shape on my pizza. I'm gonna put the cheese down, I'm leaving space for my pepperoni because I love pepperoni. And of course I'm gonna sneak a bite of the cheese because I love cheese. Who doesn't love cheese though? Now it's time to add my pepperonis. And of course we gotta make sure that still tastes good too. Good pepperoni. I wonder what you like to make on your pizza. I love cheese. And now we're just gonna put this back in the oven until the cheese is all nice and melty. So it's time to check on our pizza. I think it's done. The cheese is starting to get bubbly. It smells delicious. And I wish you could hear the sound from the pepperoni. See how it kind of turned into little cups of pepperoni? I wish you could hear that sound it's making. So our pizza just came out of the oven. Now it's time to eat. Pizza's still pretty warm. I wish you could hear that crispiness that the crust made as I was cutting into it. Look at that. We got our nice, beautiful focaccia. We got some cheese. We got some pepperoni and some beautiful looking sauce. I had so much fun making pizza with you today, and I really hope you make pizza at home with your family. Make sure to take pictures while you're baking your pizza and send them to the address on the bottom of the screen.
Be sure to check out Discover Milk Carton Piñatas if you haven't already. And now, a message from our sponsors.
Discover the Arts is brought to you by Nevada Dairymen and Dairy Council of Nevada and Estelle J. Kelsey Foundation.
Hi guys, today I wanted to give a little shout out to thank the Nevada dairy farmers for sponsoring the Discover the Arts, and they're making it possible for us to make all of these awesome projects out of recycled milk cartons. So thank you guys so much. Today we're actually going to be making a homemade piñata out of one of those milk cartons. How fun is this? So, you will need an empty milk carton for today, some tissue paper, or if you don't have that, you can use construction paper, a stapler, some glue, maybe a ruler, and scissors. Are you ready? Push pause on that video, get all your supplies collected, and let's make some piñatas. Alrighty, so I am using multiple colors on my piñata, and I'm going to be using tissue paper. So on every single one of my colors, I'm going to want to cut about strips that are about 2.5 inches wide. With my tissue paper, I'm making those strips right on the fold. That way it gets nice coverage and covers up all those logos. And then I'm taking this 2.5 inch strip and I'm going to fold it in half, as so. And then I'm going to cut small little strips all the way down. middle one, like that. And then we've got ourselves our first tissue strip. So do that for about 6 strips. Push pause on your video, get that cut, and then once we're all done, we'll come back here for the next step. So before we glue the tissue onto the milk carton, we're gonna wanna fill this maybe with candy, maybe with snacks. It is completely up to you, but just fill up your empty milk carton with any kind of prizes you want. And then once you're ready with that, we're gonna staple it shut. Now it's time to take all of the tissue you just cut and start to glue it onto this. Starting from the bottom, we're gonna take our white Elmer's glue and make straight strips along the carton, and then attach the tissue just like that. It's almost like we're putting a skirt on this carton. And then once we get all 4 sides, we can trim off that excess. Set that to the side. And glue that off. This is going to take a little bit, so let's go into super speed. All right, once you get your entire carton covered, you are ready to staple a piece of string to the top. And now it's time to party. Thank you guys once again for participating in Discover the Art workshops. I will see you next time.